Welcome to the second section of our Microsoft Word tutorial. In our today's tutorial, we're going to be looking at the Microsoft Word ribbon. The ribbon, under the ribbon, we're going to look at the tabs, the groups, buttons, and the icon. Now, the Microsoft Word ribbon is a toolbar at the top of Microsoft Word that contains the following commands, such as the tabs. The tab actually is further divided into groups, and the groups contains buttons and icons. I'd like you to join me to the classroom as we look at this extensively. Please remember that our class is a Do It With Me series. So I would like you to open your laptop and do it with me. Click as I click, write down your observations, and at the end of this session, you will see a lot of amazing things in Microsoft Word that you've never seen before. Please join me. If you must understand Microsoft Word well, then you must become conversant with the different parts of the Microsoft Word window and the functions they can be used for, the names, and you must have a clear understanding of the different areas of Microsoft Word window. And that is what we want to begin with in our second section. Now, to begin, we'll look at the ribbon. The ribbon. This is one major area that people use often, but they don't have a clear understanding of what this ribbon comprises. Now, if you look at the Microsoft Word window, you will notice, as we've discussed earlier in our first section, the title bar displaying document 1 and Microsoft Word. Now, if you look at the extreme right, you will see three buttons. We call these three buttons the control button. The first one is the minimize, which is used for minimizing your Microsoft Word window. The next one is the restore button, and the next one is the close button. The close button is used for closing the entire Microsoft Word window. But below it is the ribbon. Now, if you look at my pointer moving from here down to the right, then down here and moving down here, this is actually the ribbon. Now, one good thing about the ribbon is that the ribbon is divided into tabs. The ribbon is divided into tabs. Like you can see this now. These are referred to as tabs. T-A-B, tabs. We have the Home tab, we have the Insert tab, we have the Draw tab, we have the Design tab, we have the Layout tab, we have the References tab, and the rest of them. And one thing you will discover is that each time you click on a tab, the icons below changes. And not just that the icons below changes, you realize that some commands appears below on the ribbon, or below this part of the ribbon. And these commands are divided into groups. So commands on the tab are divided into groups. Example, if you click on the Home tab, you will notice the clipboard group, the font group, the paragraph group, the style group, the editing group, and so on. If you click on the Insert tab, you will see the Pages group, the Tables group. Now, the one more thing you have to notice here is that when you click on the tab, like I clicked now on the Home tab, now if I go to the Font group, you will notice that right there on the font group, you will notice different commands. different commands. So each group contains different commands. As a matter of fact, you can refer to them as related commands. Example, from the Home tab, you will see the font group. Now, on the font group, you will see the bold command. You will see the italic command. You will see the underline command. Now, you will also notice that each time you point your cursor on any of these commands, that the name of the command will be displayed and its description will be displayed also. Example, you point the cursor on the bold command, you will notice the name bold displaying, and you will notice the description, make your text bold. Now, this is the same with every command in Microsoft Word. This enables you to easily identify each command and work with it. Now, when you look at some of the commands on the ribbon, you will notice that some commands have arrows beside it. Example, if you come to the Home tab, you go to the font group, then right there on the font group, you will see the text highlight color. You also see the font color. Now, the font color has a default color of red. But if you look beside it, you will see an arrow pointing down. Each time you see an arrow pointing down, it means that some options can be displayed. So now I click on the arrow, you will see different more color options I can choose from. So I can go ahead and choose blue, and you will notice that my command icon has changed to blue. That's exactly how it works. Now, furthermore, you look at also a command like the style group. For the style group now, you will notice that beside it, you will see a display that will show you different options of the styles. That is very good. I hope you are doing this. Now, the main purpose of these divisions in Microsoft Word ribbon is for easy identification. For instance, I may decide to say, go to the Home tab. From the font group, select bold. So you can now see how I don't need to begin to look for bold everywhere. I easily go to the font group and I go to the, once I go to the home group, the home tab, sorry, then I will go to the font group. I can easily identify the bold command. Okay, one more again. I can say, if I say, go to the replace command. Now, if this ribbon is not divided into groups, it will be difficult for me to be able to identify where the replace command is. But I know that replace command is, if you click on the home tab, from the editing group, you can go to the replace command. That is how easy the ribbon has become. That is how easy the ribbon has made our activities to become. Now, the entire window is referred to as Microsoft Word window. And at the top, you have the ribbon, but below, you have what we call the status bar. This bar you can see under here as my pointer is moving is called the status bar. As we go on in this lecture, we will see more about how these sections will play out. So I hope you clearly understood the ribbon. I'd like you to please replay the video over again and be able to identify each part of the ribbon Don't forget the ribbon is divided into tabs, the home tab, the insert tab, the draw tab, and the rest of them. And then the tabs are further divided into groups, like the home tab is divided into clipboard, font, paragraphs. And the groups are further broken down into icons that you can also call commands. Like you see the font group, under the font group you have the bold, the italics, the underline. I believe this is very clear. As we go further, we will have to understand the different parts of Microsoft Word window. This will help us to extensively work with the Microsoft Word. Now, the next thing I'd like us to look at is what we call the Quick Access Toolbar. The Quick Access Toolbar. If you look at the top left corner of the Microsoft Word window, you will see a toolbar there. This toolbar is called the Quick Access Toolbar. Now, this toolbar is used for quick access. That is, when you want to access some commands quicker. So instead of clicking on the Home tab and you begin to search for the command, or you click on Layout tab and you start to look for the command, what you simply do is you customize this Quick Access Toolbar in such a way that the command will be on it. So that enables you to just go ahead and click the command. By default, you will notice that the Quick Access Toolbar has about 3 commands already on it. One is the save command. The second one is the undo text fill effect, on the undo, while the third one is the can't repeat command. Now, for example, if I want to save, ordinarily I should go to File and begin to look for the save command, or I would look for the shortcut for saving. But if I have the save command on the Quick Access Toolbar, I will simply come to the Quick Access Toolbar and click on it. That is why it is called the Quick Access Toolbar. It gives you quick access to commands. Quick Access Toolbar. It gives you quick access, faster access. It helps you to access whatever command that is on the toolbar quicker. Now, by default, the location of the Quick Access Toolbar is at the topmost left corner. But if you click on this icon here, this arrow, this pop-out will appear and you will see a command under Show Below ribbon. Once you select it, the Quick Access Toolbar will relocate from the topmost left corner below the ribbon. So you can see the ribbon like we stated before now, and you can now see the Quick Access Toolbar exactly below the ribbon. I can return it back again by clicking on this arrow. I go to Show Above Ribbon, Show Above Ribbon, and that takes it back again to the top. That is very much amazing. Now, what if I want to put some buttons or some commands to the Quick Access Toolbar? Because looking at the Quick Access Toolbar, I only have the save, the undo, and the can't do command. But I want some more commands. There are several other commands I use often, and I want them to be on this Quick Access Toolbar. How do I do that? One of the ways, there are many ways you can do that. But follow me, but do it along with me also, and you will see some amazing things in Microsoft Word that you've never thought of or you've never used before. Now, if you click on this arrow here, you will notice that a pop-up menu will appear. See that the ones checked are the ones that are already active. From what we said before now, The save command is active, the undo command is active, and the redo is active. If I want to bring out the new command, I'll simply click on the new command. I will notice the new command becomes active now. I click on it again. I can click on open. The open command is out now. So instead of clicking on file and going to the open command, I will simply click on this open to have access to the open command. So let's go ahead and bring out some more. I want to bring out the email command. I also want to bring out the quick print. So you can see how I brought them out. If I want to remove them also, I click on that template and click on the command I want to remove, and the command goes out. So you can see also the same way I'm removing those commands that I put in. That's one way to do it. Alternatively, if I want to add more commands to the quick access toolbar, I can go to the command I want to add. Example, if I want to add find, look at find here. Find, I want to add find to the quick access toolbar. What I will simply do is I will go to the command, right click on the command. And if I click on the command, I will see add to quick access toolbar. Once I click on it, you will notice the command find has been added. So can I do more? I go to replace, right click on replace, and I will see add to quick access toolbar, and it will add replace to quick access toolbar. In the same manner, if I want to add bold, I will click on bold and add it. So in the same way, any command you want to add to the quick access toolbar, it is as simple as using any of these two methods to achieve that. Now, there are several other methods also with which we can achieve that. Now, let's go further more. If I want to add some more buttons to the quick access toolbar, what I can do is I can choose to right-click any of the commands already on the quick access toolbar. You see the commands on the quick access toolbar. I can right-click on any of them and I go to customize quick access toolbar. I just simply right-click on any command, whether you right-click on bold or this or start, any of the commands you right-click on the quick access toolbar. You select customize quick access toolbar. That will bring you to this dialog box. And from this dialog box, you can decide to see the right-hand side, you will see all the commands that are already on the quick access toolbar. And then you come to choose command from. You can click on this arrow to view all the commands. To view all the commands there. And you can now decide to choose any of these commands of your choice. So you see all the commands. Now, maybe there are some commands that are not on the ribbon, but they are here. You can choose to put it there. For instance, okay, if I want to put grow font, or if I want to put format pages in the quick access toolbar, I can select it and go to add. And I notice that it has been added to the quick access toolbar. The same way also, the commands in the quick access toolbar can be rearranged from here. For instance, I want to take this format page to be above the save command. I will select it and go to this arrow beside it. Watch this arrow. As I click on it, it's pushing the format page up until it gets to the top. And once I click on OK, you will notice that the print has become the first command here. Let's go back again. I will click on any command. I go to customize. Now, don't forget also that alternatively, you can get to this dialog box from File. You click on File and click on More. From these options, from the options, you can come to Quick Access Toolbar. Let me repeat this again. Instead of right-clicking on any command on the quick access toolbar to come to customize quick access toolbar. And then you can get access to this beautiful dialog box is to click on File, then go to More. From Options, you can have access to Quick Access Toolbar, and that is the same command. You can also carry out any of the functions you want to carry out from there. So you can select any command and add the Quick Access Toolbar and simply click OK, and that is it. But watch, if a command is already in the Quick Access Toolbar and you decide to add it again, you will notice that it will tell you that you already have this on the Quick Access Toolbar. So that's quite amazing. I know that your attention has not gone to this Quick Access Toolbar as a Microsoft Word user before now. It's a very amazing toolbar that you must get used to, and it's very important that you get used to it. Now that we've made several additions to the Quick Access Toolbar, you will notice that when you click OK, the commands in the Quick Access Toolbar are there. But oftentimes, you might have a need to demarcate them using a separator. What do I mean by that? Let me right-click, go to Customize Quick Access Toolbar. You see the option here, Separator. I want to use a separator to separate all these commands. Therefore, I will click on Separator and I will click on Add. And it will put a dash line below. So each one I click on, I can say Add. Each one I click on, I'm adding a separator on each and every one of them. And by the time I'm done with this, I will now notice that a separator is on all of them. So if I click OK, you will see the effects. Oh, that's very much amazing. Did you see how we could make some little changes on our Quick Access Toolbar? I'd like you to pause the video and take time to go through this again on your own. Become familiar with it. I want you to have every details of Microsoft Word so that you can be able to demonstrate it at all times. That's quite amazing. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take time to make some notes and revise what you've been taught as we continue with other things that we have to do. Now, the next thing I would like you to know is that this ribbon can be collapsed. Several times my students will be working and they will come to me and tell me, sir, I can't find my ribbon again. And that could be because they have mistakenly collapsed the ribbon. So I'm going to teach you how to collapse and how to expand your Microsoft Word ribbon. This ribbon you are seeing here can be collapsed and it can be expanded. Now looking at this ribbon, at the extreme right, you will see an icon there, a button there, an arrow, like an arrow pointing up. Look at it here now. This arrow pointing up is used to collapse the ribbon. If I want to collapse this ribbon, I can click on this now, and you will notice that my ribbon has been collapsed, leaving me only with my tabs. So I can have only my tabs, but the only way to view my ribbon completely again is by clicking any of the tabs. And when you click outside, it disappears also. You click on any tab, it displays, and you can see your groups. And when you click outside also, you realize that the groups disappears. And that's quite an amazing thing. So when I find myself in such a situation where I've mistakenly collapsed my groups in the ribbon without knowing it, what do? What I simply do is to click on any of the tabs and then look at that same spot where at the extreme right, you will see a pin, something like a pin. That's pin the ribbon. Pin the ribbon. The shortcut is Control F1. Just like you're seeing it now, once you click on pin the ribbon, it will pin the ribbon back again and your ribbon still remains stable. Let me repeat the process again. You click on this command, your groups disappears, and you click on any of the tabs. You can quickly go to the pin, the ribbon, click on it, and it comes out. Alternatively, you can right-click any free space. You can right-click any free space on this group and decide to select collapse the ribbon, and that will also collapse the ribbon. Then click on any tab and right-click on any free space also and uncheck collapse the ribbon, and the ribbon will also return back. Now, the third way you can also carry out the same activity is to take note of this button here. We call it the ribbon display option. Ribbon display option. When you click on it, it gives you different options concerning your ribbon. The first one is the auto hide ribbon. You click on it, it will automatically hide the entire ribbon. You notice that the entire ribbon, including the tabs, have been hidden. You can face this situation by mistake, and this will take you a whole day to rectify. But that's a very simple thing. What you simply do is point your cursor to the top where this blue bar will appear. Click on this blue bar and you will see your ribbon return. Then when you click outside again, the ribbon disappears. So what you will do to permanently restore the ribbon is to come to the top, click on this blue, then go back to this ribbon display option, click on it, and then choose any of these two options. Show tab. When you click on show tab, it will only show you the tab. But when you click on the third option, show tab and commands, it will show the ribbon tabs and the commands all at the same time. That is very much amazing. Are you getting some new things? Can you pause the video, try to do it on your own, and possibly make some notes on it? Do it with me, and at the end of this Microsoft Word tutorial, you will become so good in Microsoft Word that you can even become a tutor yourself. So let's go on. One more thing I want to show you concerning the quick access toolbar. Remember, we ended up customizing this quick access toolbar. What if I want to restore it back to the default setting? What do? I simply right-click on any of those commands, go to Customize Quick Access Toolbar, and what I will simply do is to come to Customization, under Reset, click on the arrow, and then I will click on Reset Only Quick Access Toolbar. Reset Only Quick Access Toolbar. And once I click on it, it will ask me, are you sure you want to restore the Quick Access Toolbar shared between all documents to its default content? I'll click on yes. And once I click OK, bingo, you will realize that your Quick Access Toolbar has been restored back to default. So many amazing things that can take place in Microsoft Word. You are going to see more amazing things as we move on with this great lecture. Please try to play this series, this section 2 to the end, and make your note, and then it will shock you how interesting Microsoft Word can be. Now, to go on with our class, I'd like to show you how to display different views of documents in Microsoft Word. How to display different views. Do you know that your Microsoft Word document can be viewed in different ways? Yes, I'd like you to understand it because these are very, very important. How do I view my Microsoft Word document in different ways? And in how many ways can I view them? What and how significant are they? Now, to understand this, we are going to look at the View tab. The View tab. If you go to your tab, you look at the View tab. Now, the View tab has different groups. You can see the Views group and the rest of them. Now, looking at the Views group, you will notice that the print layout is already in gray color, which means it is highlighted. That simply means that the view that you can see as soon as you open Microsoft Word document is the print layout. The print layout usually shows you how the work will look like when it is printed on paper. It shows you how the margins will look like and how the words are going to be positioned on your paper, on your page, when you print them out. Now, looking at the print layout, we can see exactly how our page will look like. If I scroll down, you see how my page will look like when I print it. Then, if you look at other views, we have the web layout view and we have the read mode. If you click on the web layout view, you will notice that the page view changes, showing you how it looks like as a web layout. Now, looking at if I click on the print layout, it returns back to how it will look like when it is printed. Now, I'd like to call your attention to the read mode. The read mode. Now, if you look down my status bar, you will notice something on my status bar that I have page 1 of 22. It means I'm on page 1 while this document has 22 pages. Then I have 4,764 words. That's showing me the status of this page. Now, the best way to read this document, most persons when they are reading documents in Microsoft Word, they read it in print layout. But the best way to read your document in Microsoft Word is to change it to the read mode. When I click on the read mode, you will notice that this document is more interesting enough to read. You can see it gives me 2 pages at a time. And when I'm done reading these 2 pages, you notice an arrow here, which when I click on it, moves me to the next 2 pages. When I click again, it moves me to the next 2 pages. And that is how I will continue until I get to the last page. If I want to return back, I click on the arrow to the left, and it moves me to the beginning. And when it gets me to the extreme left, the arrow disappears to a faint arrow, while the one by the right remains. Now, this is the read mode. Now, if I want to navigate back to the print mode, what I will simply do is to notice that I still have my file tab here, I still have my tool tab, and I have my view. Now, when I click on this view tab, I will click on edit document. Of course, once I click on edit document, it returns me to the print layout. The print layout also can be referred to as the editing layout, because that is where you can make changes to your document and see how the document will look like. Now, the next thing I want to show you on this view tab is a very important command, and that command is the ruler. The ruler. If you look at the show group, you will see the first one there, the ruler, and you can see that the ruler is checked. Now we have the vertical and the horizontal ruler. Look at the vertical ruler here. That's the vertical ruler, and look at the horizontal ruler. That's the horizontal ruler. If I click and uncheck this ruler, you will notice that those vertical and horizontal rulers disappear. So when you open your Word document and you can't find the ruler, please quickly go to the View tab and go to the ruler and check it. Now, if you look at the ruler, you will notice that there is a gray part by the left and there's a gray part by the right. If you also look at the vertical ruler, you see there's a gray part by the top, and if you scroll down, you see the gray part by the bottom. These gray parts are referred to as the margins. The margins. I can also call them the non-printable areas, the margins. You can now see that between these points, where my cursor is to this point is the left margin. Between this place where my cursor is to this place is the right margin. The same way also you have the top margin and you also have the bottom margin too, below the bottom margin. Now, you will see the white area. That is actually the area where your text will occupy from the beginning to the end. So that's a very simple one. That's what the ruler enables us to do. Now, the next thing I want to call your attention to is what we call the navigation pen. Still under the show group, we have the navigation pen. The navigation pen. If I check the navigation pen, you will notice that by the left-hand side, the navigation pen appears. I can close it by clicking on X. It disappears. I can bring it out again by clicking here. I can remove it also by unchecking it. So these are different ways. The navigation pen does a very important work. It shows us the pages by headings. Now you can see the pages. If I click on pages now, it now displays my pages, page 1, page 2. So I can easily navigate to any page. Now, if I want to go to page 10, I will scroll down to page 10. That is quite stressful. But from the navigation pen, I can easily navigate to any page of my choice. I navigate to page 17 and click on it. And that will take me to page 17. If I want to go to page 18, I can click on it. I can scroll up there and go to page 2. And it can take me to any page. Mind you, I am scrolling using the scroll button on my mouse. If you look at your mouse, if your mouse is the type that has something that looks like a ball at the top, try to scroll it up, placing your cursor on the document. Try to place it up and down. You will notice that you can be able to scroll up your documents easily. The same way is applicable here now. If I place it on top of the navigation bar, I will end up scrolling only the navigation bar while my document remains at the spot where it is. What's this now? I'm in this page now. At this point, I can decide to scroll on the navigation bar, and you will notice that the navigation bar is only scrolling and the document is the same. Another way to scroll up and down your document, of course, you know, is by using the scroll bar. Look at the scroll bar. By the right-hand side, you can see the scroll bar. And you will see this. Look at this. You can point the cursor, click and hold it, and drag up or down. But I don't usually make use of it because I can use my scroll button on top of my mouse. You can also use the top arrow to scroll up and to click on it. You click your left mouse on it, you can notice that document goes up and down simultaneously. So that is about the navigation bar. Now, one more thing about navigation bar is that of the heading, but I'm going to talk about that as we move on. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the draft. if the draft, if you look at the view group, you will see the draft. You click on the draft and you will see the document changing to the draft mode. And let me uncheck the navigation bar. Now you can see me now on the draft mode. Now, when you come to the draft mode, you will notice that the draft mode is supposed to display something by the left. And if your own is not displaying that, then you click on File, go to More, then go to Options. When you get to Options, then look at Advanced. Under Advanced, scroll down to Display. Just keep scrolling down until you get to Display. Look at Display. When you get on Display now, look at Time Area Bandwidth. You can see it is even 0. That is why the draft could not display. If I change it to 2 now, then I click OK. There you go. Did you see that my draft column has appeared? This is called the draft column. I can point my cursor on this line to adjust it the way I want. And this display, this draft display enables us to solve some problems as we work in Microsoft Word. We're going to see more to this. So to remove this, I can click on, if I want to remove the draft mode, I can go ahead, click on File, then go to More, go to Options. From this dialog box, I scroll down to Display. I have to go to Advanced, then scroll down to Display. And once I see Display, I will come to Style Area Bandwidth in Draft and Outline Views. I will click on this and change it to 0. And once I click OK, I have this draft pen removed. And if I now want to move down to Print Layout, I click on Print Layout and I return to Print Layout. This is very amazing. I'd like you to pause the video again, try to go through this and make note on them. Do them over and over again. These simple commands we are looking at will accumulate to something beautiful as we move on. Don't forget, we are still going through the different sections of the Microsoft Word window. And that is why it's very important we listen very, very attentively. Now, the next one I want to look at is the zoom command. The zoom command. Look at the zoom command. Now, the zoom command enables me to view my Microsoft Word window in different sizes without having to alter the actual size of the document. If I look at this, you will realize that the default size is at 100%. If I click on the zoom command, I can choose to change it to 75%. And once I click on that, I click OK. You will notice that the window reduced. Yes, the size of the paper of the document didn't reduce. The one reduced is the way you view it. That's why we call it the view command. The way you view it. Now, if I click on the view command again, the zoom command, I can zoom it to 200 and I click OK. That makes it too big. Now, please take notes that at the lower left corner of the Microsoft Word window, beside the status bar where my cursor is blinking, is a shortcut to zoom. You can see the plus icon and you can see the minus icon. As you click on the minus icon, as you click the left button, you will notice that it's reducing. Try to look at it. As you click on the plus icon, you will notice that it keeps increasing. So you can increase it. You can also use this bar to drag to the right and drag to the left as your window increases. I want you to take time to go through this, practice it, and you will understand how beautiful this can be. Now, let me introduce you to more tools that you need to be conversant with. Look at the grid line command. If I check the grid line, it adds grid lines to my Microsoft Word document. But there is something unique about this grid line. Whenever you add a grid line to a document, the grid line does not just add to that document alone. It adds to all the documents that will be opened in this particular Microsoft Word application. For instance, I added a grid line to this document now, but I can go ahead and open a new document, go to File, I go to New, and I click on Blank Document. Did you notice that I have a grid line in this one now also? Yes, when you activate a grid line in a particular document, the grid line will appear in all the documents. Now let me move down to this place. I can now see the two documents, so I can navigate to any of the documents as well. If I point the cursor on this Microsoft Word icon, on this particular taskbar, this is called the taskbar in Windows. If I point my cursor here, I can choose any of my Word documents. Let me open one Word document. I click on File, I go to New, and I go to Blank Document. Did you notice that I also have the grid lines here? If I point my cursor on this Word icon, I will see the three documents here, and every one of them carry the grid line. So if I want to get rid of the grid line, I want to come to View, go to my Show Group, I will uncheck the grid line. It disappears here, and at the same time disappears in all of them. Sometimes most of my students will mistakenly apply the grid line, and the confusion will set in on how to deactivate the grid line. Please don't run into that trouble. Simply click on View, go to Show, and point your grid line and uncheck it. Please do this over and over again, and it will amaze you what you're becoming in Microsoft Word. Remember, it's a Do It With Me series. Please try to do it with me as we continue. Now, one more command I want to show you now is the switch windows. Switch windows. Remember, when I opened Microsoft Word document, the only way to switch from one window to another window is to come to this taskbar, point my cursor on the Microsoft icon, then I can navigate to any of them of my choice. But to make it easy, you can click on View, then you come to Switch window. Once you click on this arrow, you will see the three Microsoft Word documents open. And from here, you can easily switch to any of the windows of your choice. Is that not so amazing? That's a very interesting one. And I'd like to show you the final command now, and after which we will now continue with the section 3 of this tutorial. And that is the split command. If I click on the split command, I will end up splitting my Microsoft Word windows into two. Did you see the first section up here? And you can see the second section up here. If I place my cursor on the first section, I can put my scroll bar and view it. If I look at my scroll bar, you see my scroll bar has been divided into two, the first section and the second section. Yes, Oftentimes, my students, while working, will mistakenly split their Microsoft window into two, and the confusion will set in. Please, when that happens, you simply have to come to split and remove split, and that returns your window to one. Remember, if I click on split, I will split it into two. And when I split it into two, I can easily scroll. Now, do you know I can split it into two and click on the one at the top, then go to zoom and zoom it to 75, and that will make it look smaller. That's quite amazing. So you can see the one below is bigger, while the one at the top is smaller. That's to show that there are two different windows. So to remove the split again, I can go ahead and remove the split, and they become one. So with this, we will come to the end of this tutorial, Microsoft Word section 2. I would like to encourage you to please go through this video and over again. Do your best to write down, make notes on what you've done, and don't follow me on your mobile devices. Make sure you do it with me on your personal computer. Demonstrate everything, and possibly try to call somebody to teach the person as a way of further understanding what you've been taught. See you in the section 3 of this tutorial. At the end of this tutorial, I believe you will become an expert. So thank you for being part of this tutorial. We are on our way to becoming gurus in the use of Microsoft Word. I want to encourage you, as we move on, you will see so many things that you've never thought of in Microsoft Word. This Microsoft Word you are looking at can do so many amazing things. Just stay with me as we navigate Microsoft Word. Thank you, and see you in section 3.